after discussing the first scrimmage for the University of Alabama football program, and yours truly providing my 5 huge takeaways from the live exhibition inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium. People, we're back rocking and rolling from the break on what is the hottest show on the streets, the best ticket you are going to find in terms of Alabama football news, notes, and information. It's in my own words, and you're rocking with the best, the finest, your liaison, if you will, of conversation. I am Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, live in studios. People, I teased the topic before the break that goes in continuation with the Crimson Tide's defensive backfield and first-year associate defensive coordinator and safeties coach Charles Kelly, someone of whom will have the huge responsibility of restoring the back five to being an elite group in college football, playing at an elite level, and having that no-fly zone mentality, something of which Alabama fans grew accustomed to in 2015, 2016, and 2017. But as we dive into topic 2 for this week's edition of shows, there is a 5-man race, 5-man battle, 5-man competition for the free safety spot opposite Xavier McKinney, who is lining up at strong safety. We are perfectionists in an imperfect world. But in a perfect world for Alabama football, if I had to pick the number one guy for me that I want to see start at free safety, that would be none other than Daniel Wright, the redshirt sophomore out of Boyd Anderson High School in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the former 4-star, 6'1", 190 pounds. He has 18 career tackles, including 8 a season ago. Despite only playing in 4 games, he had to have surgery to repair a torn labrum in his shoulder. He's got good size, right? A natural, instinctive hard hitter. You don't believe me? Go ask the Florida State wide receiver who that man, he laid to the turf. That guy didn't have a chance against Daniel Wright in the 2017 season opener inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta between Alabama and Florida State. So good size, naturally hard hitter. Daniel Wright also has strong range in tracking the ball, going from sideline to sideline, playing between the numbers there. The 2 weaknesses for Wright, number 1, got to be in compliance with Nick Saban. At times had his moments where he was in the doghouse. And when you are in the doghouse, it's tough to really buy in and show Nick Saban that you are the man for the job. So first and foremost, for Daniel Wright, you can't be bucking heads with Nick Saban. Got to be in compliance. He's the head coach. He's the 5-time national championship guy for the Crimson Tide. He knows how to put you in the right spot to be successful. You cannot bite the hand that feeds you. So in terms of Daniel Wright, number 1, got to stay in compliance with Nick Saban. Number 2, Wright got to stay healthy. I mentioned had to have that shoulder worked on, the reason why he only played in 4 games a season ago. So he gets that shoulder in order, stays in the right frame of mind with Nick Saban. Daniel Wright, to me, can be a guy, first and foremost, that could play at that free and start at that free safety role. Moving on down to number 2, we go to a senior in Jarrett Maiden. At 6 feet, 200 pounds, the former 4-star out of the Texas area. Maiden, 23 career tackles, had 18 a season ago, and much like Daniel Wright, Jarrett Maiden, good size. He's got long arms, pretty strong wingspan, and much like former Alabama defensive back Landon Collins, Jarrett Maiden, a natural thumper. Can lay the wood, can come down, can make hits, secure, strong tackler in space. The thing about him is, can he be an elite coverage defender? Because nowadays, safeties, they got to do more than hit. They got to know the pass patterns of wide receivers. They got to defend each pass pattern. They got to bait the eyes of the quarterback to make a poor throw. They got to break on the football. They got to create turnovers, and upon creating those interceptions, know how to take that ball and go coast to coast with it and take it to the house. Eddie Jackson, and Minkah Fitzpatrick. So for Jarrett Maiden, can he become a strong coverage defender? Now, in Nick Saban's presser on Wednesday, he talked about how, Maiden's getting better. Played well in the first scrimmage, really showed out, tackled well, covered pretty good, and he's starting to get the understanding, per Nick Saban, of what he's supposed to do and what he is being asked to do in playing in that free safety role. So number 2, Jarrett Maiden. He's got the size, natural thumper, big-time hard hitter, but can he now make that transition into being a strong, elite coverage safety? He's number 2 in the battle, Jarrett Maiden. Flipping this over now to number 3 in the battle for free safety, we bring up sophomore Eddie Smith, the 3-star in the 2018 class, 6 feet, 190 pounds, out of Sangham High School in Slidell, Louisiana. Played in 6 games last year, mainly on special teams. The thing about Eddie Smith is he's kind of a sleeper in all of this because he's got explosive ball skills, very versatile, strong tackler, but you don't know that much about him. And this will be a spring ball for him to kind of show his vocal side, being able to talk a bit more, but also leading by example, going out there in spring ball, creating those turnovers, breaking on the football, flipping his hips, batting down balls, really showing what he can do, because he's got a lot of potential, he's got a lot of ability, very, like I mentioned, explosive in space in terms of instinctive ball skills, but this will be a spring to where we can get to learn more about Eddie Smith and what makes him tick as a big-time premier prospect. So that's Eddie Smith, number 3, a guy that can be productive, a guy that can be special, but a sleeper in terms of you don't really know much about this kid, but as spring ball continues, Alabama will have its second scrimmage on this Saturday, the A-Day game next week. We will continue to learn more about Eddie Smith. He's number 3. In terms of guys 4 and 5 in the competition, we look at 2 freshmen Nick Saban is very excited to get on campus in the summer, Jordan Battle and DeMarco Helms. Battle, a 4-star out of St. Thomas Aquinas High School in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at 6'1", 187 pounds, and DeMarco Helms out of Maryland, a 4-star, at 6'1", 203 pounds. Charles Kelly is somebody that's good with talent. I mentioned in a previous podcast, this is the guy at Florida State that produced Derwin James, Jalen Ramsey, and LaMarcus Joyner and put them all in the National Football League. So this is somebody that from a mile away can recognize next-level talent. And both of these 2 guys, Helms and Jordan Battle, are 2 that got better each and every year during their high school tenures. You get both of those 2 guys on campus, the chase is on, the push is on to see who will line up opposite Xavier McKinney at free safety and really make this defensive backfield one of the scariest, one of the best, one of the more elite groups in college football. So going back to this again here, 5-man race for free safety this spring going into summer workouts, fall camp, 2018 college football season. 5-man race at free safety. Number 1, in a perfect world, it's Daniel Wright. Number 2, in a more reasonable world, we got Jarrett Maiden, senior, in the battle. Number 3, the sleeper, we got sophomore Eddie Smith. And number 4 and 5, the young guys, we got a freshman in DeMarco Helms out of Maryland and a freshman in Jordan Battle out of St. Thomas Aquinas High School in Florida. We take our final break here on In My Own Words. Don't touch that dial, folks. When we get back, we will discuss, when we get back, we have an interview. First special guest to start the off-season edition of getting on former players, high school coaches, guys that really know, guys that really have some intel, some insight into the Alabama football program. We bring in our first special guest to end my own words. Who would that special guest be? Check it out on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're coming back.